Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Julian Grace. We are staying on top of breaking news at 6 after our plane experienced landing gear issues at RDU, causing one of the airport's runways to temporarily close. WRAL's Wooly Danley is live at RDU now. And Wooly, you've talked to several people whose flights have been delayed this evening. How are things going now?
Yes, I did, Julian, and as you can imagine, several people that I spoke to here at RDU are anxious about how these delays may impact their travel plans. Take a look at this video that we captured here at RDU. According to RDU, a plane suffered a gear issue during takeoff, causing that plane to become disabled on the runway. 2 people were on board, but no one was injured. As a result, one runway here at RDU was shut down for the plane to be towed away. I spoke to a woman who was traveling with her husband. This was their first international flight. Their flight to Boston was delayed this afternoon, and now they're concerned that they may not make that connecting flight that's heading to Paris. As of now, there are still several flights here at RDU that are marked as delayed. We're going to continue to keep an eye on this incident and let you know how it may impact your travel plans. At RDU, Willie Danley, WRAL News.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, a new update out of Kentucky regarding last night's shooting on I-75. Now, the suspect, Joseph Couch, he hasn't been found just yet, but authorities did release a photo of his car that was recovered. Authorities found this midsize silver Toyota just off I-75 last night. A rifle case was also found inside, but the rifle itself was found outside the car nearby. In total, Couch injured 7 people, 5 in the shooting and 2 from a crash that happened as a result. Again, Couch himself has not been found yet, but a ground search is currently underway. Back to you.
The search continues. Well, we're starting to see some more action in the tropics, with the National Hurricane Center starting to issue advisories on potential tropical cyclone 6, that is. Meteorologist Mike Mays is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with the latest on what we're tracking. Mike.
Julian, it's been since August 12th that we saw the end of Ernesto. Now we're going to see if this becomes Francine, which it should. It's a broad area of low pressure right now, but we're seeing new convection developing right in the Bay of Campeche, and that is where the center, so to speak, of potential tropical cyclone number 6 exists. Moving northwest at 5, top winds are at 50 miles per hour. Here is the forecast track and intensity showing where the storm could head in the coming days. So by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, top winds still at 50. 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, top winds at 65. By Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock, the forecast is for it to become a weak hurricane, making landfall perhaps between far east Texas and southwestern Louisiana. The way the upper level winds are, that would carry the storm up into the lower Mississippi Valley, and then the remnant low would make its way into the mid Mississippi Valley. Now on this trajectory, we wouldn't have a direct impact here, but it's quite possible some of the moisture could make its way here by the end of the week and into the weekend. And these are the tropical model plots pretty much showing consensus where the storm could head in the coming days. So again, not a direct impact here, but coming up in less than 15 minutes, Julian, I'll track the movement of the storm on Futurecast to see what we may see here.
All right, thanks, Mike. A section of North Main Street in Wake Forest is closed due to a water main break in the area. Video from our breaking news tracker shows crews working to make repairs. The town says the cause of the rupture is not known at this time, but water has been restored to all customers. The road should be back open in a couple of hours. Rocky Mount Police charged a student today for making threats on social media, targeting 4 schools in 2 districts. Investigators say West Edgecombe, J.W. Parker, and Rocky Mount Middle Schools, as well as Edwards Elementary, were all targeted by threats. Police say they were able to track the IP address linked to the social media account that made the threats, which led them to the student's location. They say the student confessed to making the account, and they were charged for communicating threats of mass violence on school property. Investigators also took the student's phone. Nash and Edgecombe County Schools say they will both have an increased law enforcement presence at the school effective tomorrow. Raleigh police have now confirmed that 2 people were injured in shootings early yesterday morning. One of the victims was shot near the McDonald's on Western Boulevard around 3 in the morning. A second man was found with gunshot wounds at an apartment on Westville Court at 3:30. Police say both men have non-life-threatening injuries. Police are working to confirm whether or not the 2 shootings are connected. No arrests have been made at this time. We're reaching out again today to try to learn more and learn the name of a man struck and killed by a vehicle in Raleigh just last night. It happened on MLK Jr. Boulevard near the intersection of Grantland Drive just after 9:15 p.m. Raleigh police say a man was hit. EMS was not able to revive him and he died on the scene. Now, the driver in that crash stayed on the scene and is cooperating with police. We're still working to learn if the driver will face any charges in this accident. A woman had to be airlifted after crashing into a tree near Southern Pines. This is the scene here. It happened on Midland Road just after 4:30 this morning. Firefighters had to cut the driver from the vehicle after they were pinned in during the crash. State senators plan to vote tomorrow on a deal to fund private school vouchers fully. The Republican plan would provide complete funding for what's called the Opportunity Scholarship Program, spending $463 million to expand the voucher program. Democrats, including Governor Cooper, are strongly against it. The state house votes on the plan Wednesday. You can read more about the proposal online at WRAL.com. Immigration and border security are top issues for voters in the upcoming election. Some Republican critics say the Biden administration's policies have turned North Carolina into a border state. Our PolitiFact team reviewed state records on crime, schools, and North Carolina's social safety net. The data does not show a state in distress, though. To read the full report on how many non-citizens are using state services, go to the NC Capital section of WRAL.com. We are less than 60 days away from the 2024 election. Can you believe that? Vice President Kamala Harris is kicking off a battleground state tour starting right here in North Carolina. Here's what we know. Harris will be in North Carolina on Thursday, while her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, will be in Michigan. The campaign has not announced where in the state she will be visiting as of now. We will update you on air and online once we learn all of the details. Second gentleman Doug Emhoff and Minnesota's First Lady Gwen Walz are in North Carolina today. They stopped in Asheville for the campaign's reproductive rights bus tour. Tomorrow, the two will be in Raleigh. We'll release the results of an exclusive WRAL News poll on the presidential race tomorrow. Find out how North Carolina voters feel about the candidates and how they plan to vote. All week long, we'll have poll results on critical races and issues. Look for our presidential poll results starting tomorrow at 4 p.m. Harris and former President Donald Trump will meet for the very first time on the debate stage this Tuesday. You can watch it right here on WRAL. Coverage starts at 8 o'clock. We're a little more than a week away from learning the fate of the Hat Amphitheater in downtown Raleigh. An open house tomorrow will allow people to ask questions and share solutions about the project. And as WRAL's Laura Levine reports, it's a move that could not only impact neighbors and businesses downtown, but also a public housing project for low-income families.
Heritage Park is home to more than 100 people, including taxi driver Ayatollah Hannibal.
Public housing is very important because it's good for people and families who can't make it.
The aging complex was built in the 1970s. Hannibal, who has lived here for 13 years, is now excited, packing and preparing for change.
They're supposed to renovate within a year. They're getting everybody out of here now. They got 5 apartments here. I'm the last person on this row here.
As better changes are coming here, District E Council member Christina Jones is among those concerned about how plans to move Hat Amphitheater a block south and to close South Street could have major ramifications.
We talked to residents who said this was the 4th Ward, right here, South Street, when the city pushed our black and brown residents out and redlined the area. This is where black and brown residents lived, and it was called the 4th Ward. And they said it just feels like the black and brown community has to bear the brunt of growth at all costs.
She says connectivity issues from Heritage Park are just one problem. The new Red Hat location would be directly across from the property, which could present red flags for HUD certifications. That determines how much federal money will be available for the affordable public housing redevelopment.
It makes it hard to say, yeah, let's go with it when we have no assurances that we have solutions to these issues. So I want to highlight all of residents' concerns.
As tough decisions and tight deadlines await, many hope they aren't left out of where the city is headed.
I'm where I'm at now today because of what housing done for me.
Several studies are still underway to determine exactly how some of these communities will be impacted by this project. The open house is scheduled for tomorrow at the Martin Marietta Center. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
I know residents will show up. Well, a man in Forsyth County says he owes his life to a Roxborough man.
He ended up having a wreck, hitting a tractor trailer head on, but I don't remember anything about the accident.
This is a story you must hear. It was a horrible crash. Coming up, how a Roxborough man was in the right place at the right time, and his skills helped that driver. Plus, rapper Kendrick Lamar just landed on one of the biggest and most famous gigs on the planet. Welcome back. This next story will make you smile. A Louisville man recently had an opportunity to thank a Roxborough man for saving his life after a frightening crash. Tommy Stone was driving out of Roxborough on the afternoon of January 22nd when he was involved in a crash with a tractor trailer on Highway 49 South. He was badly hurt and his car caught on fire. Fortunately, Charles Crowson was driving behind him at the time. Crowson, who is an EMT student, sprang into action and put his training to work.
I dragged him away from the car with fireman hold, and he grabbed my shirt just like this and looked at me and said, "I can't see you, but I can hear you. Please don't let me die out here." I said, "I'm not going to let you die."
It was so much relief to find out who saved my life. That was the main thing. I wanted to know who to thank.
Now, Stone had more than 20 broken bones, but is doing much better today. He was able to meet and thank Crowson in person for the first time last weekend. Now, we'll share much more of this heartwarming story in our late news later tonight. Can't wait to share it with you. Tuesday night's jackpot in the Mega Millions drawing is up to $800 million and will likely climb higher between now and then. The cash out value is more than $401 million. Now you can watch the next drawing live Tuesday night on WRAL at 11. All right, listen to this one. Kendrick Lamar will perform at the 2025 Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show. Now this will be his second performance during the halftime show, following his featured appearance with Dr. Dre in 2022. The announcement comes on the heels of his feud with rapper Drake, during which they released back and forth diss tracks that captivated rap fans worldwide. Lamar has won 17 Grammy Awards. In 2018, he won a Pulitzer Prize for his 2017 album. Super Bowl 59 will air on Fox 50 on February 9th of next year. Excited. I'm so excited about that. Well, tracking the shark population along the North Carolina's coast.
We want all of our crew to come home with fingers.
Tomorrow night at 6, WRAL hits the water for a lesson in shark science, from big sharks to not so big. What decades of shark tracking along our coast tells us about the health of the ocean and the impact that it has if you're a seafood fan. That's Monday at 6. A lot of good information right there.
Baby sharks.
Baby sharks, yeah. Got to learn more about them. Mike, do I need to adjust the graphic behind me?
No.
Are those temperatures for tonight?
Yeah, it's going to be a little chilly out there. We have 57 for the low this morning out at RDU. We expect it to be a cooler start tomorrow. 53 in Raleigh, 47 at Roxborough. Rocky Mount, you're down to 51, 58 in Fayetteville. So get ready and make sure the kids have maybe a light jacket. They'll probably want to wear shorts. Light jacket with shorts, I guess, is okay. Later in the afternoon, we should get back into the 80s. We had 80 today out at RDU, 76 right now. The dew point has dropped into the 50s, so we go from that muggy feel yesterday, the cold front slipped on by, and then we have the dry air mass. So feeling pretty good out there right now. Once the sun sets, temperatures will fall quickly into the 60s. 76 in Durham, 72 right now in Roxborough, 73 Rocky Mount. You can see all the comfortable air. The dew point in Clinton right now is at 60, and that's not all that bad. A pleasant dog walk this evening, or maybe you just want to get your steps in. 76 right now, 7 o'clock, 73. By 8 o'clock, we're down to 67. 7 and 11 o'clock tonight, we should hover around 60 degrees. Now, at the top of the newscast, told you about potential tropical cyclone number 6 that is expected to move up to the north and to the northeast. Let's track it with Futurecast to see what we may see around here. Now, it is disorganized right now, but watch how quickly it comes together. Closed circulation by Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. By this point, it should be Francine, if not before then, and then continues to make its way up to the north. There are a few intensity models that actually have it becoming a hurricane prior to landfall between far eastern Texas and southwestern Louisiana. There's 7 a.m. on Wednesday, and then making its way up to the north. Thursday morning at 7 continues to head up the Mississippi River, and then by Friday morning at 7 a.m., a remnant area of low pressure. For us, we do have the chance for rain on Friday. As of right now, it's about a 30% chance and maybe a 50% chance for showers and maybe a thunderstorm Saturday. Not a direct impact, but some of that moisture may be dragged toward North Carolina. We'll track it throughout the week to see how that changes. Now, a couple other things going on out in the tropics. Lost satellite data, unfortunately, but you get the idea that this orange area, we have about a 50% chance of tropical development. In this red area, it's a high chance, 70% chance over the next 7 days. And tropical model plots show where this one could go. Let's see where it's headed. Generally heading to the west and west-northwest and perhaps curving up to the north. So in the Gulf of Mexico, we would have Francine. If this developed, the next named storm would be Gordon. Been quite quiet lately, but now we're heading into the peak of the tropical season. Tomorrow and Tuesday is the actual peak. And so now it seems fitting that we're having development happen. So it's cooler tonight, anywhere from upper 40s in our northern counties to upper 50s in Fayetteville, 53 in Raleigh, 51 at Rocky Mount. Another beautiful day tomorrow, a touch warmer. We'll have full sunshine, 81 for South Hill and Roxborough and Rocky Mount and Wilson, 82 here in Raleigh, 83 Fayetteville, 83 at Southern Pines. 7-day forecast. Yes, it'll be a warm week, but through the week, the dew points stay in the 50s till you get to about Thursday when they start to get to about 60. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, dew points more in the 60s, so it will feel more humid. And there are your rain chances as of right now. Saturday features the greatest chance of rain, about a 50% chance, and cannot rule out an isolated storm as well. But enjoy the week, especially if you work outside. It will be nice.
Yeah, get that yard work done.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Mike. Lewis is with us. And Lewis, I have so many questions after this first Panthers game.
Julian, one of the worst feelings is that roller coaster in your gut when you're a little optimistic about what your football team can do in a season and then immediately loses the first game. Oh, look, the Carolina Panthers. We take a look at what happened in the first game of the Dave Canales era. That's next in sports. The beginning of the NFL season is such a beautiful time. A crisp fall breeze hits just right and hope springs eternal. The Carolina Panthers were bad last year, worst in the NFL bad. But a new season, anything could happen. To New Orleans we go, an NFC South clash for new head coach Dave Canales in his first game as a head coach. 5 plays into this one, Derek Carr drops back, goes deep to Rashid Shaheed. 59 yards, Saints lead 7-0. All right, time for last year's first-round pick, Bryce Young, to respond. We're looking for some growth in year 2. First pass, steps back, and it's intercepted. Not great. Later in the first, Carr is going to snap the ball, rolls to his right, and eventually throws to his left, finds tight end Foster Moreau for the score. End of the first quarter, it's 17-0. Why is that important? According to the Fox broadcast, the Panthers went 9 consecutive quarters, the final 2 games last year and the first quarter this year, without a score. That's the longest streak by an NFL team in 24 seasons. To the second quarter, field goal time, Eddie Pinheiro drills it from 43 yards. It's over! 30-3 going into halftime. Carolina's first points in a game since Christmas Eve. The Panthers did find the end zone, 4th and goal. Bryce Young scrambles, touchdown. He finished with 161 passing yards and 2 interceptions, sacked 4 times. Saints steamroll the Panthers, 47-10.
It's a long journey. It's a long journey to become us. I truly believe that. I knew that whether we started 4-0 or 0-4, whatever that is, what I knew is this is going to take a long time to become us. And I can't help just, you've known me a little bit now, but I just can't help but know that you have to have adversity to become who you're going to be.
The Panthers will play its first game in Bank of America Stadium next Sunday against the Los Angeles Chargers. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. Sunday Night Football makes its return. The LA Rams will travel to Detroit to play the Lions. 2 of the best coaching staffs in the league clash. That starts tonight at 8:15 on WRAL. Now, if you're a Panthers fan and an NC State fan, tough weekend. After the 51-10 loss on Saturday to Tennessee, the Wolfpack have fallen out of the AP Top 25. The SEC take up 6 of the top 7 spots, including the aforementioned Volunteers, jumping 7 spots to number 7. The ACC has 4 teams in the AP Top 25, but now isn't the time to think about the top 25 or the playoffs for NC State. The Wolfpack just need to focus on getting better.
This is a really good bunch of guys, and they will go back to work. I know that, and they'll stick together. There'll be a lot of people telling them that they're no good, and that's fine. And inside the building, we got to do a great job leading, and there's a lot of football in front of us.
The only team receiving any AP Top 25 votes in the area, UNC. Number 1 ranked Italian tennis player Jannik Sinner beats Taylor Fritz of the United States in 3 sets to win the men's U.S. Open final. The 23-year-old is the first man since 1977 to win his first 2 Grand Slam trophies in the same season. Sinner tested positive for anabolic steroids twice in March, but was cleared because his use was ruled unintentional. And fresh off their win against Kansas City, the NC Courage play the San Diego Wave tonight at 8 p.m. The match is being aired nationally and locally. You can watch it on MeTV. It will be U.S. soccer stars Alex Morgan's last NWSL game in her career. The Wave striker announced her retirement from professional soccer earlier this week.
That was quick. All right. Thank you, and thank you for joining us. NBC Nightly News is next. Be sure to join us for more news on Fox 50 at 10 p.m. and after the game tonight right here on WRAL at 11:30. We'll have everything you need to know. All right, have a good night. We'll see you later.